Yeah, let's just quickly go through it. This is going to be a very short live stream, but I'm going to upload the VOD and I'm going to upload the edited version to YouTube, so you guys on YouTube can also see and hear my thoughts about this. So what are they on their live stream? They announced that they will be reworking Mores, and it sounded very exciting because, ooh, you got the last survivor, and you can Mori them now. But I see that they have changed. Well, not changed, but it's a bit different than I thought it would be. All right, let's see. Mores have garnered a somewhat negative reputation over the years, being used out of spite against a particular survivor. It's just... We're not even going to talk about this. That is not why people use Mores. This upcoming PTB will feature an early version of the new finishing Mori system. Unlike most PTBs, this feature will not be going live in the following update, which is good because it's horrendous. There's still some work to be done before it's ready to be released, but we wanted to give you an opportunity to try it out and share your thoughts in advance. So, first of all, we've got this. When all other survivors are dead, dying, hooked, or have escaped, you become the last standing. Both your and the killer's senses are heightened, granting you a wider field of view. Rescuing a survivor will end the last standing phase. So it's like a tension between you and the killer, a race. Who's gonna pick up who's gonna find who. Is the killer gonna win or are you gonna win? I like the concept. It's pretty cool. But being downed as the final survivor, on the other hand, will trigger the finishing Mori, which is where the issue begins, in my opinion. When the last survivor is downed, the trial will draw to a climactic end. Both the survivor and killer will be moved to a preset point on the map, free of any obstructions that may get in the way. And the killer's Mori animation will begin. Any survivors still in the trial will be affected by the entity and treated like a sacrifice. They say created, I meant killed. Okay. We already have an issue with this. When they mentioned the finishing Mori, I thought they were just going to make it so when there's one survivor left and you down him, the game is over and you will not have to hook him. I legit thought that was going to be it. I didn't know. Let me just check if everything is recording properly. Yeah, it is. Okay. I legit did not know that it was going to be like this, because this is a bit problematic. It makes a lot of sense. You being able to slug 4 people should, in fact, give you the end of the match, because you practically won, right? That is how it's supposed to be. You practically won at that point, unless they're using Unbreakable. But the further changes that they made are extremely stupid, and I don't know what the fuck was going through their head. With this new system in place, leaving survivors on the ground, aka slugging, may seem more appealing, opening the possibility of ending the match early. But the survivors aren't going to give up without a fight. After being left on the ground for 45 seconds, survivors will now gain the ability to pick themselves up without the need of any perks. This time is affected by recovery speed effects. Before we move on to the second part of this, why? Why would you ever do this? Why? What is the point? I don't get it. Do you realize how much you need to try to slug 4 people? Do you realize how hard that is? Play against any team on any map, and it's almost going to be impossible to slug 4 people. You want to know why? Because most people are not that stupid. Most people are going to go pick the other person up, or the other person is just going to use Unbreakable. Do you realize how hard it is? So why would you make it so after 45 seconds, the survivor can pick himself up without any perks? Any perks, mind you. And this recovery speed is affected by recovery speed effects by other perks. Are you stupid? I don't know who thought this was normal. I've seen some people agree. I'm not gonna call them out, but I've seen some people agree with this and be like, okay, yeah, this is not gonna affect me because I'm a slug. Well, at one point it will affect you, and you'll see. When you want to make a comeback and snowball, especially with Oni, and then everyone's just running unbreakable, so you can't snowball anymore. With twins, you're practically just gonna destroy the killer. With Myers, why is he ever gonna use his tier 3 then? He's just gonna hit one person and then hook them, and yeah, that's it. Like, why would you do this? How does this go through your head? How does this go through your team? I don't understand. This is the worst they could ever do. Genuinely. Okay. I understand why they did it, right? I understand. But the execution is extremely stupid. The execution of this is possibly the worst that has ever been implemented in the game. And I have been in this game. I've been playing this game since August 2021. I don't even know the bad, quote-unquote, bad parts of the game. I don't know. I just do dead hard. Unbreakable, dead hard. Like those crutch perks, adrenaline still existing. I know those perks. But that's the only thing I know. Like, what is this? You mean to tell me that you're giving them the most powerful perk as base kit? You mean to tell me that if a killer does well and slugs 4 people, they're not gonna finish the match because, oh look, after 22 seconds, somebody will pick themselves up. And we'll talk about that soon enough. I just think it's a stupid system, and if they actually go through with this, well, I'll share my thoughts on that later. So, perk updates. With both the Mori and the ability to pick yourself up now part of the base kit, it's not really part of base kit. A handful of perks that grant these abilities will need adjustments. Therefore, the ability to pick yourself up has been removed. I apologize. From Unbreakable, Soul Guard, No Mither, and Boon Exponential. And this is now part of base kit. As this is now part of base kit. Yeah, fucking amazing. The ability to Mori survivors has been removed from Rancor and Devour Hope. This is now part of the base kit. Do you realize what base kit is? If you say Moriing people as base kit, that doesn't mean that you can Mori every single person. You know that, right? That it doesn't go like that. In addition, some of these perks will have changes made for the PTB. However, since this is an early preview, the in-game descriptions have not yet been updated. These are, and this is where the bullshit comes in, mind you. Unbreakable now increases dying self-recovery speed by 80, 90, and 100%. As if 45 seconds wasn't good enough, they were like, you know what? We need to kiss their ass a bit more. We need to kiss the survivor side ass a bit more. Make Unbreakable the most broken perk in the game. Let's go, dude. Rancor. Once all gens are powered, the Obsession's aura is revealed for 5 seconds, and they are permanently afflicted with the exposed status effect. You can't even Mori them for fun anymore. It's just, I don't know what the fuck was going through their head. Hex, Devour Hope. Once 5 tokens have been earned, any survivor placed on a hook is instantly sacrificed. People used Devour Hope for Moris. They didn't use it to get value and you know, hook survivors that been on like 0 or 1 hooks. People don't use it for that. People don't use it for that. Memento Mori offerings. There's just blood points. I mean, you can read it for yourself. This is just horrendous. I am immensely disappointed in them. I was expecting something much neater, something much, you know, something much nicer, not so impactful at the game. And I get that they want to spice up the quote-unquote meta, but this is stupid. Now, I'm going to give you a little example, okay? Let's say you're playing any killer, for example, and you're down the survivor on a pallet. You know that survivor has tenacity, flip-flop, unbreakable, and power struggle. You are aware of it because his moans in the dying state are 75% quieter. So you want to pick up, but you see a little speck of a survivor near you, right? So you're in a predicament at this point. Do you risk getting flashlighted and pick up immediately? Do you risk getting pallet saved and, if you pick up immediately? Or do you want to, shoo the survivor away and pray to God that this guy does not have flip-flop? You understand this issue, right? You understand it. I'm pretty sure you do. Because everyone's going to be running this perk now. Everyone's going to be running Unbreakable, Power Struggle, Flip-Flop, and whatever the fuck else they want to run. Tenacity, perhaps. So how is a killer ever supposed to pick up a survivor? How? There are so many pallets on every single map. There are a few exceptions, but those maps you practically never get because the game does not want to make it easy on you. So if everyone is running those perks, and you know that they're a Swift team, which is practically as skilled as those players can get, as that team can get, as coordinated as that team can get, how are you ever supposed to pick a survivor up? Because if you pick it up quickly, you're risking getting pallet saved by their friend, which in most cases, in 99.999%, let's just say 100% of the time, will be there while the others are doing gens in the background. So how are you ever supposed to get any pressure if you cannot even slug? So usually, what you would do is, if you're going against that type of person, it takes around 5 to, 8 seconds to get to 30%? With the current change? Not the current change, but the current state of the game. So if it takes the same amount, you know people are going to use exponential, right? And if you slug him for around 18 to 22 seconds, he's just going to pick himself up. Unlimited amount of times. So you get no pressure as killer. Absolutely no pressure. You cannot slug. You cannot snowball with certain killers, which is their bread and butter, mind you. With Oni, with Myers, with, I don't fucking know, other killers that depend on snowballing to bring the game back. You can't even bring the game back. If people finished all gens, you can't slug them anymore. You just can't. Is it possible? You cannot snowball. People complain about slugging. People complain about absolutely everything. And I understand if you complain about pure tunneling. People don't understand what tunneling actually is, but we're not going to get into that. It's not this current conversation. It's not the topic of this current conversation. I understand complaining about camping. I understand complaining about tunneling. I get it. But why would you complain about slugging? I know Behavior implemented this because they don't want people to be slugged. When that's an actual strategy in the game that, is not cheap. It's not a cheap strategy. You're creating pressure, and if you down 4 survivors, GG, dude. You played so well. You pressured 4 survivors at once. Good fucking job. I am proud of you. Well done, dude. But no, that doesn't matter anymore. With this new update, they're just gonna pick themselves up after 22 seconds. And trust me when I say, everyone will run Unbreakable. Everyone will run Unbreakable, no matter if they're in a Swift team, no matter if they're going in a solo queue match, no matter if they're in a duo team. It doesn't matter. Everyone will run it. You will see it every game, just like you saw Dead Hard. And it will be 10 times worse than Dead Hard. It will be 10 times worse, because you will never have the pressure to come back. At least they could mess up Dead Hard sometimes. At least they could sometimes mess it up. Get a bit too pressured, press it at the wrong time, and mess up a vault, and you get them. Or do something to mess it up. This is holding one button and picking yourself up. Why? Because the developer said it was okay. Developers said, oh, it's too powerful to slug 4 people on the ground. That doesn't mean they're skilled, that just means they, you know, slugged. Slugging is bad. Boo-hoo. I cannot express my sheer amount of disgust when I look at this document. I will upload this video on YouTube today. I will edit it and I will upload it on YouTube. And I will make sure that someone with a brain notices this. I will make sure to do my part so Behavior looks at this and retracts the whole update. They messed up even the finishing more. They messed up even that. It's a unique system. I like it. But if they're gonna implement this, and they think this is okay, just because this exists, you are out of your mind. No one is ever going to slug for the 4K unless they are going for the Adept and there are 2 people left, or unless they are simply playing Oni and there's 3 people left. Nobody is going to slug for the 4K, okay? And the fact that you're giving both solo queue and Swift team this big of a fucking buff, I am simply disgusted. I am so disgusted that you even think that this is a normal thing. People don't understand the severity of this. They genuinely do not understand. Do you remember Exponential on RPD? Doesn't even have to be Exponential, it could just be any perk. But yeah, it was commonly Exponential, Unbreakable, Boil Over, Flip-Flop. You remember that on RPD on top of Library and how it was broken? It's going to be the exact same situation. People are still going to find ways to break the game, and the Behavior is going to be like, oh, we've decided to look into this like 5 months ahead, like 5 months after the update, and they've decided to, you know, reduce it from 100% to 85%. Here, thanks. Hope it fixes it. This is not healthy for the game. This is not healthy for the game. If you want to make your game realistic, and you want to make your game reward the killer for a good skilled play, aka pressuring 4 players, then yeah, do not implement this. At least, do not implement this. I don't care if it's a Starstruck Nurse. I don't care if it's a Bubba. I don't care if it's any killer that can snowball the whole team. It's not possible. It is not possible if you just decide to split up. That is what you should do at the beginning of the match, and that is what you should do every single match. There is no exception. There's no reason for them to implement this just because players do not understand how to counter slugging. Do not understand how easy it is to counter slugging. If a person is after a different person, you go pick up the one that's downed. That is the only thing you have to do. The killer cannot be at 2 places at the same time. This is why this thing right here is visibly fucking disgusting. I apologize for my behavior, but I simply had a mental breakdown yesterday reading this. If they seriously implement this, I am saying right off the bat, if they implement this and they don't change a single thing about it, I'm officially going to quit Dead by Daylight, and I'm never coming back to it unless they change this and revert it completely. I am being dead serious right now. I am not dealing with a power struggle unbreakable build every single game against the Swift team. Doesn't even have to be a Swift team, you understand that, right? It's going to incentivize tunneling people as killer. It's going to incentivize, and not even incentivize, it's just going to give survivors a way easier time. Especially if they're on comms. No, dude, it's okay. Finish that gen. I'll be fine. I can pick myself up. I've got a boon. I can heal myself. I'm an independent woman. Doesn't even have to be a woman. You get my point, right? I'm independent. I can do everything by myself. I can pick myself up as base kit. I can put up a boon and heal myself. I can heal myself with a med kit. I can go do a gen in the meantime, and you don't have to come pick me up. Is this a team game? Is this a team game, or do you want to make every single survivor in the 4-man team extremely overpowered? How does this go through? How? How do you look at this and say it's normal? I don't understand. How stupid do you have to be? How stupid? People do not understand how this is gonna go. And the ones that are saying that it's not gonna affect them, yeah, it will. And you'll see soon why. You're just not thinking about it. Anyways, this right here is bullshit. Moris are fun. Revert it, make it so you can still Mori people. It just doesn't, you know, if you get all the people down, it triggers the finishing thing. Like, it's not part of base kit. Sure, it is, but not in that sense. No more thoughts on it. I think this is bullshit. This is ridiculous. How do you change this? How do you make this better unless you revert it? How? I genuinely have no idea. I'm sorry for the sniffling, by the way. My nose is a bit stuffed. I don't know. Also, this is the shittiest change. This is the shittiest change. Like, why would you remove Moris? Why? What is the point? What are you achieving? People legit run these perks to have fun and get a 4-man. People run Devour Hope to get a 4-man Mori, or they just want to see the Mori. They just want to see the Mori. They don't want to down all the people just to see it. Like, the final person may escape. It doesn't fucking matter, does it? It's not a part of base kit. You can't have it on the command. Rancor, why would you remove it? Unbreakable, like, this is the biggest pile of shit I've seen in my life. Why would you buff a meta perk? Why? Why? Aren't survivors having it easy enough already? Aren't maps already overpowered? Aren't perks busted? Aren't items busted? Add-ons? Why are you bringing this into the game? You're just sucking their dick. Like, I cannot say it any different way. You're just sucking their dick with this. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Oh. They were doing so well, mind you. They were doing so well before this. They were having this update, reducing the blood cost, reworking, blah, blah, blah. Like, they were doing so well. And then they do this. Okay, behavior. Since you don't know how to fix your own damn game, I'll fix it for you, okay? Let's go through this. The ability to end the game with 4 people downed should stay in the game. You practically won at that point. Moving on. Completely remove this. Keep Unbreakable as is. Unfortunately, no, not like this, but, you know, as it is right now before the update, keep it as is. Rework boons, because you mentioned it. Devour Hope and Rancor should stay. Moris should stay normal. Not like this, mind you, before they were reworked. They should be normal. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This right here is the biggest pile of dog shit. Do not make survivors independent. If they are independent and they can do literally every action by themselves, this is every action being able to be done by one survivor without the help of any other, mind you. Even with Unbreakable, you're using a perk, okay? Being part of base kit after 45 seconds? No, we're not doing that. I'm sorry. No killer will be able to slug 4 people on the ground. It's not possible, okay? And if they are, you've lost the game at that point. Just accept that you've lost the game at that point. Okay. No more base kit Unbreakable. No more 45-second bullshit. Keep it as is, like, the normal value, 30-something seconds. I forget what it was. I just think that if they did this, that it would be nice. And if they, like, nothing else is good. Legit nothing else. This is a decent change. I like the fact that they, you know, took their time to think about this. It's nice. It's okay. I like the concept of it because it rewards you for slugging people, which is extremely hard to do. Especially against good survivors. You will never be able to do that. So if you manage to do that, good job. GG. It should stay as is. This whole document here, just delete it. Just keep this part, and that's it. Alright, guys. That's it. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I'm pissed. I'm sorry, but I tried my best to stay calm. It's just bullshit. I apologize, but it is what it is. Alright, take care. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great day. I will not be streaming today. I'm just going to be doing my thing. I want to relax a bit. My nose is stuffy. I'm feeling a bit bad, so I'm going to relax a bit. Alright, take care, and peace.